Hey, I want to do a quick video showing off my Belo Betty list. This is a leader that is coming out in OP05. Didn't do that well in the Asian meta, but I think it's a leader that is probably a little overlooked. Looks and feels really strong in some of my playtesting, and I think could have some really positive results here in the Western meta. So if you don't know what she does, she lets you discard one Revolutionary Army type character from your hand to give 3 Revolutionary Army or trigger type characters plus 3,000 power for the turn. So that includes a lot of the yellow staples like Cracker, Sanji, and some cards that are coming out in OP05. Unsurprisingly, you'll typically be running the Revolutionary Army engine with this leader, but I'm sure there's a lot of room for interesting techs and just generically good red cards. Um, and I think folks can kind of come up with a lot of different lists based off of this leader. So just kind of a quick overview of like some of the cards that are really, really good in this deck. This Inazuma lets you rush down your opponent by using the Belo Betty ability leader or leader ability to get other characters to the power threshold for this effect to activate. Ivankov lets you cheat out other Revolutionary Army characters from your hand. Karasu can lower your opponent leader by 1,000 on play and another 1,000 when he's attacking. He doesn't have rush, but every turn you can kind of lower a leader or a character. Minus 1,000 power is really good. Koala is a 2K that has a minus 3,000 effect on play. Sabo is some removal, KO up to 2 characters with a combined power of 4,000 or less, so can see this comboing really well into other cards that reduce power, like your Film Law, like your Brook, like Otama, like Koala. Kuma is removal for anything with a power of 2,000 or less on play. He also has a trigger, so he can be played off life. Belo Betty is your searcher for the Revolutionary Army engine, and then these 2 cards are really, really powerful. Morley is unblockable if he has 7,000 power or more, also with the trigger, and Lindbergh can KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less if he has 7,000 power or more. So all of these cards kind of have that 7,000 power or more threshold because Belo Betty's ability gives characters plus 3,000 just for discarding a card. So it's really, really easy to hit that power level and activate all of these effects. Obviously, there's a lot of cards here that have a removal on 3,000 power or less or 2,000 power or less. And so if you're building your own Belo Betty list, looking into other cards that reduce power level is a really good way to kind of have a more control-centric list versus maybe this beat down rush style list that I have going here. And then looking at some of the yellow cards, obviously Cracker, really, really good. Can work with the leader ability. Sanji can work with the leader ability. This is one that I don't think a lot of people are going to run, but one that I've thought is kind of interesting. Moscato in OP04 was just not very good because of a 4,000 power character into Whitebeard, into Zoro with Marco available. It's just not very good. But if you can give him 3,000 power with Belo Betty's leader ability, suddenly kind of becomes a little bit more attractive because with one Don, this is now an 8K with Banish. So I think that's pretty interesting. I've been doing some testing with him, so it's been pretty positive. But obviously, I think there's a lot of room to iterate on these lists. Outside of the kind of core Revolutionary Army cards, there's a lot of flexibility in what you might want to put in here. I could definitely see arguments of putting in like some rush characters like Zoro or Luffy or other things just to kind of improve your ability to get through blockers. And then lastly, this is Satori. He's an OP05 card coming out, can be played off life, and has a 2,000 power counter, and is also 5,000 power baseline stats. So a really good attacker, works with Belo Betty's ability once again, but also a 2K counter in hand if you need it. This deck only runs 8 2K counters. The only blocker is Sanji, so you are kind of weak. So you really want to make sure that you're finishing the game as early as possible, and just trying to get out a couple characters and using your ability to really punish your opponent as soon as possible and hopefully end the game before they even get to 10 Dawn. Anyways, with that, I'm going to run a couple games, show you how the deck works, and curious to kind of hear what folks think about it and if they would make any changes and what cards they think would be powerful in this leader. All right, so our first matchup is against an ace. And we're going second here, so I think we got Ivankov on curve. That's pretty good, and we can actually even play Kuma on turn 2, which is perfect because he played the Izo, so we're going to keep this hand, obviously. And you got the Flame Emperor. We do have our Searcher, but I think it's worthwhile to just remove that Ezo right off the bat. All right, and then Dadan is next. And Buggy, okay. Do I want to trigger this Sanji? Let's do it. Let's get rid of the Kuma, trigger the Sanji. So now we have two bodies on board. Both can actually already use our leader ability. I'm just going to swing 5k here. Rather than Ivankov, I'm actually going to play the Lindbergh. I do like Ivankov, and it would be nice to kind of get Lindbergh out with Ivankov's ability, but I will get some free removal here if Lindbergh sticks. He is on his 5 down turn, so not worried about Flame Emperor. Definitely worried about a Fire Fist. But, that works too. He chose to go for the Sanji just to get another swing in. We're going to do that. 2k counter. I will take the 5k. All right. Let's start out with a search, see if we can get the Inazuma, and we can. This is amazing. All right, so here's really where the deck starts to shine. So we're going to play the Inazuma. We're going to trash one of our Ivankovs. And now he is active. So first thing we're going to do is swing, let's swing 5k into the Makino, just get rid of it. Swing 8k into leader and get rid of our Dadan. Let's swing 7k into leader. I probably should have done that swing first. Whiffed on his Whitebeard Pirates, and then 8k. Or 7k, all right. So kind of messed up my order of attacks there, but yeah, just counter on 2. So he's now at 2 life. He played the Buggy, so Flame Emperor is no longer a threat. Also not worried about Ace here. He got the guard point. Okay, so plays Otama, reduces Lindbergh, and Marco's it. Yep, that's definitely something that can happen. So, this is kind of where the deck starts to struggle. You kind of have a pretty poor matchups into removal heavy decks. I can see this deck struggling a lot into Sakazuki. I'm tempted to just go for game here, honestly. He's got 2 life, no Dawn up. I know one of these cards is a guard point, so that's a 1k counter at best. I need to get 3 hits in. I would love to have another Inazuma here, but doesn't seem to be an option. So I think what we'll do is drop the Ivankov. So that's 5k, that's 7k. So I can do 7 here. I can do 9. And he's thinking about a trigger. And then I could do 9. Do I have it? Let's find out. Definitely a risky play. Probably not the most optimal play, but I do know that Ace can be a little bricky sometimes, and I have it. He gave up. So I think it's important in aggro decks to really know your matchup and how bricky they might end up being. Let's see if we can find another one. Okay, Katakuri. This is probably a matchup we will see a lot in OP05 if you run the Belo Betty deck. I chose to go first. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been better to go second just to steal it from him. But getting as many attacks in as possible is always really, really good. And we have a 3 Dawn play in this hand, which is amazing. And we have Cracker for the subsequent turn, which should almost always be live just because we're a 4 life leader into a 5 life leader. Katakuri has the double pudding right off the bat. Not the best not the best outcome for us, but that's okay. Looking at it now, I'm actually gonna. Do I want to start with the Moscato? I'll start with the Morley. The only downside about the Moscato is you can't really attack with him right away just because he's really easy to kill on the following turn. So let's see here. So let's do 5k with the Morley, just get some cards out of hand. He does run the Godatsu, so we got to be careful of that. I think we might have hit a trigger here. Okay, smoothie. And he drops a 10 drop, which makes me think he probably has the second one in hand. So we want to try to end this game as soon as possible. Took that, and then cracker. Okay. He may be wary of going face, just because I have the cracker out now. I'm tempted to. Oh, the Gadatsu. Yep. So that is definitely something we saw coming. Unfortunate that he had two in hand right off the bat, but should be fairly easy to keep this Morley alive now. Oh, but no. Okay. Yep. Not gonna play this. All right. This is a matchup that I think we'll see a lot of. He's going first, which is pretty interesting, but maybe just trying to steal it from me. And I'm going second, so let's keep this hand. I think there's some good cards here. Inosuma's interesting. Sanji's interesting. Really, we just want to try to win this match as quickly as possible, go as wide as we can, and then use leader ability. So right off the bat, can start off KOing that pudding. Not much of a threat, but it's good to just get it off the board. Could potentially hold those for a brulee or something down the line. But overall, this is just kind of good to establish just because we can use leader ability later on and get extra value out of it. Okay, ooh, the cross is a great pull here. Really great card. Ivankov's even better. We're going to swing 5 here. Let's see, he's thinking about it. So the Ivankov lets us cheese out the Karasu in the subsequent turn. We could even trash a card to play him now so that he can attack next turn, which I'm debating because if I put, so really the only removal we're worried about is a Thunderbolt or potentially Gadatsu, but we're at 3 life, so really only Kuma would die. I'm thinking that I might actually. No, I will use Ivankov's ability next turn, but I will play Inazuma as well. So we're just gonna do that. I was thinking potentially to trash card, activate his ability, get Karasu out now, and then next turn have Karasu, Inazuma, and Kuma as all attackers, and Ivankov. But we will be a little patient. We're not gonna go too aggressive too quickly. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, we have a really insane turn this turn. So what we're going to do is play. Oh, okay. So I can't actually get the Karasu out and the Uzuma. That's okay. We're going to do that. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay. So now we have a 5K swing. That is a shame that I couldn't get 2 cards out. I think I should have thought about my counters a little bit better. But overall, we're okay here. So we're going to do 5K. We're going to do a 7K. Oh, do another 5K here. My swings are all over the place today. Do an 8K. Can't kill anything because it's 3,000 or less. Oh, it's able to gain a life back, but he has no cards in hand, so not super concerned. And back. All right. So he's going to try to clear my board a little bit here. Maybe going to play the 7 drop. I don't have any Revolutionary Army cards in my hand, which is a shame. But we still have a lot of Dawn. Yep, 7 drops there. That would have been nice to draw. Hopefully I top deck into something I can sacrifice to use this effect. Otherwise, we're just going to split our Dawn. Ooh, okay. So here's the thing. Yeah, I think I think I got to play this. Yep, that seemed like the best thing to do in the situation. Let's do 5K here. Then we're gonna. I'm swinging a little strange just because I am wary of Thunderbolt, so I don't want to put Dawn on my weak characters first, only for them to be Thunderbolt. Only for my stronger characters to be Thunderbolted later on. Okay, he's just taking all of these, and he's gonna be at 9 Dawn next turn, so maybe Yamato, but he can't really KO anything. Yep, 2/2Ks. He could just try to go for game here. I can get to 11K. So his first swing is 11. Oh god, wait, he might have out of this perfectly. Yep, it's gonna be 12. Yep, that's really unfortunate. He had perfect math there. So yeah, maybe should have played the Sanji there. That was on me. All right, against the OP01 Law. Let's see how this goes. I'm going second, or I'm going first. So we have a nice turn one play here. Moscato's nice in this matchup because Law likes to take life early, and this forces him to not do that. No cards to draw. We love to see it. And is it going to be a double whiff? Unheard of. Nope, he gets the Rush Zoro. All right. Oh, Morley's so good in this matchup as well, just kind of ignoring all Law's blockers. But let's start with the Moscato. Okay, so this Law is thinking about their next turn. 5 at life. Ooh, Lindbergh. Yeah, let's take it. Let's get rid of the Moscato here. Yeah, looking at it now, this feels like a very favored matchup in general for Beto. I guess a bit of a misclick there on their part. Just gave the Dawn to himself. Maybe meant for the Nami, or maybe just playing characters to play characters. And then we got the Chopper blocker. Yep, okay. It's just a bit of an odd play, but let's try it this way. So we're going to trash Morley. Then we're going to activate this to get that. I'm going to put a Dawn on. So that is now 8K with Banish. Yep, Banish and Nami, that's great. Get rid of the Brook. I mean, he should take this, yep, and then he's going to counter out of the 5K swing here. So I am at a super low hand size at this point. I know he has the Rush Zoro, but I have 3K in counter, and he Law's at 1 life with no blockers established. So I'm feeling pretty good. I can counter out of 1 or 2 attacks and keep some of this board alive. Ideally, I top deck into another Revolutionary Army. Oh, he is running the Magra here. Interesting. You don't really see this as much. Typically, it's more of a Zoro decision, or yeah, typically just Zoro. I'll let the Moscato go. It's not worth it to defend a 4K. Yeah, and then I will defend the 1K there. If these 3 stick, I probably just win next turn if I don't have to play Koala. So let's see if he plays the Rush Zoro here. Yep. Is he going to swing into Lindbergh? Oof. Okay. So, if I top deck a Revolutionary Army, I'm in a really good spot. Amazing. All right. Well, see, this is just the power. Definitely, high risk, high reward kind of gameplay, but let's just do 7K. That's why you also run so many Revolutionary Army cards in this deck. All right, we could do 9K, 9K, 9K. That feels good. Or maybe I'll do 8K, 9K, 10K. No, wait, that's not math. We can't do that. So we could do 8K, 9K, 9K. Let's do that. I mean, either way, I think I got it. Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna finish this. Yeah, I mean, very quick game. I'm still at 3 life. Obviously, no cards in hand. So if this didn't work, I would have been in trouble. But I finished this before they even got to 8 Dawn, which is pretty crazy. Which I think shows the real power of the stack. If you play aggressively and you play right, you can just demolish some opponents very quickly. Even if he survived this, he would probably have had to counter out of with every single card in his hand too, which kind of leaves him open for some pressure on my leader, and then obviously probably have a lot of triggers in life as well. Anyways, that's the deck. A couple of interesting matches there. Definitely something I'm still learning, but I think kind of highlights the power of the deck. And I think as you saw some of the plays, there's some room to tweak this list and make it your own and incorporate a lot of those other really good cards that red and yellow have to kind of support just the very generic ability this leader has. I think anything with a trigger is able to be buffed, but even if it's not something that you can buff with that leader ability, it could just be a supporting card that builds off some of the other cards in this list, like Lindbergh, um, or Savo, or Kuma. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Curious if you think Bella Betty's going to have a bit of a resurgence here in the West compared to the East, and curious if you have like interesting lists that you've been testing and running that you're hoping will be a little more competitive than this.